Today, I'm going to be telling you about a great woman, the kind they make movies about. That would be my mom. If I were to choose one word to describe her, it would be selfless. She was always thinking about everyone else but herself. She would be serious and strict. She would expect you to follow the rules, but at the same time be the cool mom, the only one of your friends that would want you to travel or experience fun in whatever form you chose. Everything she did was for others. She would never laugh at a joke. She didn't like to play around or make fun of people. But the way she talked, the expressions she would make, the clever things she'd say out of nowhere would have you cracking up. It's like she didn't allow herself to laugh, but would innately make others have fun. After her death, I always talked about her regrets, how she died with many of them. Back in the Dominican Republic, whenever there was a blackout, we would sit on the front porch in pitch blackness and watch the planes go by. With nostalgia breaking her voice, she'd tell me about her thwarted dream of being a flight attendant. My mom and dad practically grew up together, but when they were teenagers, they finally decided to be together as a couple. My mom's dad, my grandpa, did not like that idea. So he made her decide college or dad. She chose love. This meant that her dream of traveling the world would forever be put on the back burner. From there on, she'd take care of dad and his many illnesses and give birth to three human beings she'd give her life for. My mom would move mountains to have us experience a little bit of the things she would only dream of. She'd take out loans just to take the family to resorts all the way across the island. She always said that if she could move money around to pay the bills, she could move money around for us to enjoy life. When she found out about a program for my sister to come learn English in the US, she acted quickly to make sure she had the opportunity. When I got accepted to study abroad in Italy, she beamed with pride and helped me through every stressor in the process. And she was there to comfort us when those plans didn't work out. She was brutally honest, like a child that hadn't learned to lie yet. It was a family running joke that mom could not see anybody with a physical defect. Her sadness for them would immediately show. She just couldn't pretend not to care. I like to think of myself as an open book. I owe it to her to live a life where I never debate what I told this person or another because I simply always tell the truth. The freedom she gifted me by being herself is priceless. To the oldest, my sister, my mom taught her how to be independent from a young age, thinking of her best future. And with a heavy heart, mom sent my sister to live in the US with uncles and aunts so that she could learn English and go to college. My sister gave her the joy of her only grandson, who looks just like my brother. Although my brother was extremely shy, she pushed him to use his intelligence to go far in life. He was the youngest in his class, promoted to be an NYPD sergeant. He cared for his fellow human beings and was a light in the life of everybody who met him. His suicide devastated my mom. He was doing so well. He never showed any mental issues. All her work with him seemed to go out the window. She died less than 2 months later. After I watched her slowly die in intensive care and then in a hospice bed, I promised myself that I wouldn't die with so many regrets like she did. But you see, I don't think she had any. She lived fearlessly to provide for her three children everything she couldn't have. She instilled in me the wanderlust she couldn't chase. She created three caring human beings that continued her mission to do good in the world. My oldest sister in the healthcare industry, my brother as an impeccable civil servant, and I do what I can in the higher education field, combining community service and student life. I graduate this December as the first person to get a master's degree in my family. Next April will mark the fifth anniversary of living with the two best people I knew and loved. Their deaths left me with no choice but to fight every single day to continue living a life of purpose. No matter how hard it sometimes gets, I have a mission to die with no regrets. As I look for a full time job, I ponder about the where do you see yourself in 5 years question. 5 years ago, if I would have been asked that question, I would have never guessed how different my life would be. While in hospice care, as my mom continued to breathe only with the help of machines, I asked the doctors if she could hear me. They didn't agree on an answer, but I hope she heard about the huge mark she left in this world. Although she wanted to travel the world, she also dreamed of having a beautiful little home she could call her own and where she could tend to her plants and watch the starry night sky. I'm talking to you right now from that home where I tend to tropical plants like the one she had it back in DR and where the sky is clear enough in New York to see the stars. See, I no longer think she died with many regrets. She knew the impact she made in many people's lives. And her dreams, they got passed on to us. I am sure she would be so proud of the lives she made happen.